julus bayna sajdatayn. Julus bayna sajdatayn. Sitting between the two sajda. What is the hukum? I told you the beginning, the Ahnaf only have 6 rukun. And they don't count this as a rukun, but it is wajib. It is wajib in some, and they said a sunnah, but the right view should be, it can be treated as wajib. Now, I mentioned last week, there are a lot of things which I say is wajib, but the list of wajib I gave you in the beginning, they are not in there. Because the general rule for Ahnaf is that itmi'nan or i'tidal in all positions of salah is wajib. So we don't note down coming up from ruku as a place we say this is wajib, or getting up from sajda and sitting is wajib. Every action of salah, itmi'nan is wajib. So we didn't list them down. Now, sitting, when a person does sajda and then sits back up, okay, that sitting between the sajda with itmi'nan, with calmness and staying in that position is a rukun for 3 madhahibs except Ahnaf. Rukun meaning is fard. If it wasn't done properly, your salah is invalid. Where Ahnaf says wajib, if it wasn't done properly, intentionally, your salah is invalid. But if it was forgetfully not done properly, then you can do sajda sahu for it. That's the difference. But in the other madhab, you can't make this up with sajda sahu. Clear? So it is important for all of them, but there is no recovery from this mistake. Some people do sajda, get back up, Allahu Akbar, back down, Allahu Akbar, without staying in this position calmly. Now, not staying, if it was intentional, everyone says this is unacceptable, your salah is void. But if it was forgetfully, Ahnaf say you can do sajda sahu for it. Why do the other madhahib, they say it is a rukun? If you were here in the last few lessons, the same hadith, al-musi fi salati, this person who prayed and was sent back saying you haven't prayed and come back and went back, and until Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, show me how to pray, tell me how to pray. So one of the bit in that, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him, after sajda, ثُمَّ ارْفَعْ حَتَّى تَطْمَئِنَّ جَالِسًا. Raise up, sit up until you are sitting with itmi'nan. So they say it is fard 4, and that's why they have more fard than Ahnaf. Ahnaf don't take these as fard, but they take them all as wajib. Okay? So from this hadith, which repeats in the chapter of Salah all the time, and is one of the most important hadith to learn, to understand the ahkam of Salah. That's the reason that madhahib other than Ahnaf, but they all say it is rukun. If not done, you'll have to repeat your salah. Why do they say that? Because that person who didn't pray properly, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to him, go repeat your salah. Repeat your salah. So they said this is a rukun. And Ahnaf, they say is wajib because it doesn't fit in the category of rukun, but because he intentionally didn't do it correctly, he didn't forget, that's how he was praying, so he had to repeat salah, because wajib, if done intentionally or missed out intentionally, then it's the same hukum. Alright? But nevertheless, this is the main hadith for it. Also, another hadith which says, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رفع رأسه لم يسجد حتى يستوي جالسا. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to raise his head from sajda, he wouldn't go back in sajda until he had set upright properly. Okay? And I said last time, okay, for Shafi'is, when we were discussing ruku, and I gave an example that if a person was to get up from ruku due to fearing something, saw a snake or and just jumped up and stood up from ruku to standing position, they say his salah is void because his intention of getting up wasn't there. He got up because of being scared. Same for that, the Shafi'is say, if a person in sajda and he got scared or anything made him sit upright, even properly, but his intention wasn't to get up, but because of fear or something he moved, or it was hot and he jumped upright, even if he's in the best position, that salah is, that rukun has been missed. Has to have the intention of doing that rukun as well, moving from sajda into that position. Okay? Also to note, this rukun, for 3 madhab rukun and 1 is wajib, this jalsa bayna sajdatayn, the jalsa between the 2 sajdas, that the purpose of it is what? Is to separate between the two sajdas. So you are not allowed to prolong it for no reason. A person can't come up from sajda and then sit there for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Because he did 10 minutes qiyam, 10 minutes ruku, 10 minutes sujood, now he wants to do 10 minutes sitting. The sitting in the middle bit cannot be like that. As long as a person sits up with itminan for a few seconds, he should go back down. Long enough for him to do his dhikr, what is in the hadith. For example, Rabbi ghfirli, he says Rabbi ghfirli, or other hadith, Rabbi ghfirli, warhamni, wahdini, wajburni, warzuqni, warfa'ni, wa'afini, or in other order. This is actually, this dua, Rabbi ghfirli, warhamni, wajburni, wahdini, warzuqni, warfa'ni, or wa'afini, warfa'ni. This is actually 3 different hadith, which are, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has done all these adhkar. So you can do all of them. I think there are 7 things in Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood, and Ibn Majah. How long does that take? A person to sit up and he's straight and he goes Rabbi ghfirli, or he goes Rabbi ghfirli, warhamni, wajburni, wahdini, warzuqni, wa'afini, warfa'ni. That's as long as you need to sit. No more than that. And then you should go back calmly into the next sajda with Allahu Akbar. Clear? That's a sitting bit done. How do you sit? The sitting, it has another place, inshallah. We'll discuss how to sit, because the madhahib, they have differences sometimes how they sit in different places. But as for this place, the sitting is you fold your, the sunnah way of sitting is you fold your left foot and you sit on it. Okay? So if you imagine when you are in sajda, your both feet, the pads under your toes are on the ground. So the left one, you fold it and you sit on it. And the right one remains in the position, the standing position. That's the way to sit between the 2 sajdas. So the right foot, the toes are facing the qibla, and it is standing like it was in sajda. And the left foot, you are sitting on it. Yeah, it shouldn't be, for all of you, it should be quite easy. Okay? More of that will come in its place. This is not the place to discuss different types of sitting. Last week I also mentioned hadith of Abu Humayd as-Sa'idi about the sifa of Salah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And that hadith is very important as well. in the chapter of Salah, in the fiqh of Salah, because he explained in detail how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam prayed in an authentic hadith, and is a muttafaqun alayh hadith. One of the bit, when it came to this bit, he said, ثُمَّ ثَنَى رِجْلَهُ الْيُسْرَى وَقَعَدَ عَلَيْهَا ثُمَّ اعْتَدَلَ حَتَّى رَجَعَ كُلَّ عَظْمٍ فِي مَوْضِعِهِ ثُمَّ هَوَى سَاجِدًا. He said, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he bent his left foot and sat on it, then straightened up, set up, until all his bone completely returned to their place, proper sitting, and then he went back to sajda. So from this hadith you can also see, and also similar hadith in Sahih Muslim. There's hadith Nabi Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala said, "Kana yafrishu rijlahu al-yusra wa yansibu al-yumna." He used to sit on his left foot and position the right foot, vertically. This hadith, when its place comes, inshallah, I'll tell you. This hadith, obviously, there is other way of sitting. There are two ways of sitting in salah. Okay, now when the salah is ending, for example, there is one way of sitting which we explained just now. That's called muftarish. Jalsa, we say muftarishan, the way we just said, on the left foot. And there is another way which is called mutawarrikan. That way, tawarruk means it's the same thing. Your right foot is vertical, right? Left foot, instead of sitting on it, you are behind it. So the buttocks hit the floor and the left foot is on the side. So this happens, for example, Hanbalis, they said, every time there is a salah which has two tashahud, so you miss out the fajr. Don't miss the fajr, mean you take the fajr out from this formula. Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. The salah which has two tashahud, the final tashahud, you will sit in the tawarruk, mutawarrikan. Yeah, but for the jalsa, what we just discussed, you will sit, muftarishan. Clear? Clear. But this will come back in the course, inshallah. Okay. Now, while sitting between the two sajdas, where should your hands be? Okay. The hands, they shouldn't be holding the knees like ruku, like some people do. Hands should be natural position, the palms facing down, like meaning resting on your thighs. They should be resting on your thighs, but nearer to your knees rather than to your stomach. So it should be, okay, it should be, and naturally just resting on it. You don't need to raise your finger or anything, just naturally resting. Okay? Any question on sitting between two sajdas? You covered enough?
What's the alternative way to do, what was it called to sit? We've got muftarisha and
Mutawarrik, mutawarrikan, but the tawarruk, this is not for this place, huh? This is for towards the end of salah, for example. We'll discuss that later. You only do this way here, okay?